This is the Authority Partners podcast.
True innovation is solving a real problem. As what Simon Sinek said, innovation is not born out of dream, but is born out of struggle, and I would add creative, persistent, and bold struggle. I didn't know much about the entire concept of innovation until I met Dalibor Marjanovic, experienced executive with more than 20 years of business development and 16 years invested in building an innovation ecosystem. Dalibor is executive vice president of consulting at Authority Partners, IT solution provider which employs almost 500 plus people worldwide. Back to innovation. He is a founder and managing partner at Invento Capital Partners, an innovation catalyst specialized in fostering innovation in Croatia, Slovenia, and Western Balkan region. As head of EIT, Inno Energy Hub Croatia, Dalibor is supporting local innovative companies, making connections between people, skills, and capital. He invested over 50 million euro in innovation projects, attracted over 50 mil private capital, negotiated 20 mil euro loan with World Bank as a president of the board of Business Innovation Center of Croatia, BICRO. He is an active member of expert groups related to innovation ecosystem, development and SME support, as well as one of the founders of the Croatian network of business angels. And all of this brings us to conclusion why Dalibor is ideal match for the Authority Partners podcast on innovations. Hello, Dalibor. It's absolute joy for me to have you in the studio.
Hello, Asia. It's really nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Tell me why you're so passionate about this topic.
16 years of my life was invested into this. I never actually envisioned that this would be really a great thing to do. But when I first time met the architecture of setting up the innovation ecosystem, I immediately was connected with the people that have new ideas, that creating something new, which is really, really contagious. You see the energy, you see, the excitement about what they're going to do, and you kind of drawn into it. So it's a really complex topic. I hope through this podcast we'll go through it, that you will get more familiar with it. Mm-hmm. I tried to kind of structure it in three different ways to kind of first understand what is innovation, to introduce some definitions around it. And then the second one is how to enable environment for innovations. And then the third one is actually to see how to get innovation in digital transformation. So I hope that you will get benefit of listening to this podcast.
Oh, definitely. Our listeners will benefit a lot because I can see that you will walk us through entire ecosystem of innovation. But in a nutshell, what is innovation?
So innovation is creating new services or products by adding value to its customers or consumers. So in essence, that can be increase the revenue, could be less cost, better quality, or maybe more varieties, like to distribute the risks.
And what is the difference between innovation and creativity? I'm sure that our listeners are very interested in kind of having maybe some kind of definition or clarification, because it can be mixed.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. So creativity, it's a prerequisite, or knowledge is a prerequisite for innovation. And creativity can happen anywhere, really. Can happen in different places, even in less developed countries. In Africa, you can have a creative people, and they can come up with some ideas. But innovation is really the usage of the creativity. So basically, when something creating come out, how much is used, or is somebody willing to pay for this creativity? So if that happens, then innovation is actually happen. So in essence, diffusion and market size play significant role. Basically, better defined marketplaces and better defined countries are more innovative as opposed to less developed countries.
And what does it take for an individual or a team to be creative?
Like I said, prerequisite is some kind of the knowledge or even the skills, but that's not enough. Usually the lack of something sparks the creativity. So some kind of need, desire to fix something Is actually, and with the limited time and budget, you basically then you create the innovation.
So basically, as I said at the beginning, it's a basically problem solving, but with a passion.
Yeah, that's a problem solving with a passion, out of the need. So
Out
I
of the
agree.
need.
Yeah.
When innovation gives value.
So innovation gives value to someone who is going to pay for this, or spend some time using it, because we can also understand there are some social innovations that are not paid for. But if it's used and accepted and it creates new value, then it's innovation. Yeah.
And what kind of innovation exists out there?
There are two types of innovation. One is incremental, and another one is disruptive. So this is how we see it based on how big impact they create in a market.
Can you just clarify to our listeners more like in depth what is incremental and what is disruptive innovation?
Basically, incremental innovation is improving existing products with new features that creates the value to the consumers. Disruptive innovation is completely new product. One example of disruptive innovation is basically a smartphone. So with the smartphone, we had some stronger hardware that we had on the phones that can use better operational systems like Android or iOS. And so that's on one side. And in that moment, that was 2007. I think iOS came in June and Android in November of 2007. We had ability to, on the hardware device who can actually run these operating software, we can add more applications and add more utilities that can help us use it. So that happened on one side. On the other side, there was this penetration of the Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi-like bandwidth networks that help us actually use these smartphones outside of our homes. So in essence, you have two different innovations that kind of overlap each other and create some disruptive innovation, which is called smartphone. And basically, that's our new life companion right now, besides the living ones.
Or in front of the living ones.
Yes, that's right. Unfortunately, it is, yes.
And how to increase innovation diffusion? I think that's one really interesting aspect.
Yeah, like I said before, innovation is penetrating of this creativity to the market. So basically, diffusion is a word that defines that. So how can you penetrate faster or stronger? So there are two things. One is, how big is innovation, or how simple is to use something new that helps you a lot. So that's like the strength of the innovation. And that other thing is how things are connected in the market. So obviously, when you are developing something, if you are connected with the research organizations, then you can really much faster and much simpler actually than have a knowledge transfer from the universities to the markets. On the other side, your connection with the existing change makers in industry partners that you have helps you actually to bring innovation much faster and much smoother to the market. So obviously the well-developed countries, they do have very well connection between industries, they have a connection between universities and industry, which actually enables this diffusion, makes it much stronger and widespread, and increase the innovation in essence.
So basically you once said when we spoke before, the simpler, the more diffused?
I agree. The simpler, the more diffuse, that's how it works, yes.
And now let's go maybe in direction of enabling environment for innovations. What would be your recommendation how to enable the environment for innovations?
Yeah, let me bring two concepts that you are probably familiar with, but you never seen in these ways. How does it work? So if you have on one side, you have money or time, and another side you have a knowledge. So you see these two entities, right? So if you use the money or time by learning something, you will create the knowledge. So this process, we call it education or research. So basically, money or time with the research or education creates the knowledge. And then once when you have a knowledge that it's established, some skill set, something that you possess, by creativity, you can actually come up to the money or time by innovation process. So obviously, innovation is a process that helps us make money out of our knowledge or education that we have gotten through the years. So that, in essence, actually represents bloodstream or heart of any growth. You can put these into the budgets of the countries. You can put this into the personal budget. You can even see this in the company size. So any of these entities, if they invest into the new knowledge, they can actually make money or create new revenue streams in the future. I mean, look at all of us. We do want to learn something new. We actually, sign up for some new courses, new seminars, because we gain some knowledge, and consequently we actually using it. Maybe we are not aware of that in some new things that we do, and we bring in new value to whatever we are doing. This is really the concept of the growth.
What does it take for investment to return and for the company to profit out of it when we are talking about investments and growth?
If you learn all the time and learning something new, you will become scholar. You will become maybe some professor on some university, and you are gaining this knowledge, and maybe even becoming someone who can transmit this knowledge to the new peers. Mm-hmm. But if you want to use this knowledge to kind of enrich your life, then you should try to find some good balance. How much you should invest into this knowledge. Mm-hmm. So if you look, let's say on the level of the countries, how much the rich countries invest into the R&D, you can come up with a 5% as a good number. So Israel or South Korea, which is actually strongly growing from year by year now, and surpassing all these big countries, they are on 5% almost. And then we have countries that are behind, like Switzerland, Sweden, Japan, Germany, Denmark, and United States. All of them are neighborhood 3%. If you are, let's say, in a company, obviously 5% is something that is really beneficial and good. I know that Tesla is investing something like almost $3,000 per car value in each car. So in essence, that's also translates something like between 5 to 10% into the R&D. Mm-hmm. I would say that if you are a new established startup, you probably need to invest more. But in a time to be sustainable, you need to kind of limit that. And I would say that everything above 15% it could be really costly. And so you need to have a balance between current revenue or whatever current revenue streams, whatever you take as an income to invest into the new one. Because if you invest all of that, obviously you are not going to go far from that.
Mm-hmm. And I bet maybe Eastern European countries, the companies are investing less, right?
Yes, yeah. They're investing like 5%. All these big company names, they are investing a lot in R&D, but never more than 5%, between 5 to 7% in average.
So that should be the golden number.
I would say so. Yes, that's my experience. This is for sure. I see the companies that invested like 30% over a period of 5 years, and they really have a really good idea, really good product, but they just lost it. Maybe some financial crisis came into it, maybe some market changes came into the picture, but at the end of the day, they couldn't recuperate from that point.
Yes, also needs to be balanced, I understand. And what happens with companies when they do not invest in innovation? I mean, some companies are pretty much conservative in that sense.
Basically, if company does not invest anything to R&D, they are losing the edge. They're not connected to the new market opportunities, or they don't understand the need, and consequently, they are losing the competitive edge in the market. So in other words, they're really disappearing. You need to, you can, for some reason, one or the other, you can short term, you can cut on these investments, but that's on a long term, this is not a good decision.
And what do you consider under, let's say, company growth?
So the company growth, it's really interesting. I think every company should be measured by their peers. That means that in some sectors, the growth of 10% could be huge, but on the others, it's not enough. So in essence, everyone should be measured against its peers into the sector. Some startups that even grow into 10 to 20% per month, which represent a huge growth, they need to compare with the similar competitors that are try to reach the market, and then they will see where they're standing. And consequently, then they invest from that point into the R&D. 5 to 10% depends, how fast they want to penetrate the new markets.
Just out of curiosity, for startups, if they're growing too fast, should they kind of slow down?
That's a good question. I don't think they should slow down. They should be all aligned with expectations, because when there is a market opportunity, they need to reach it. But sometimes maybe they are misaligned on different levels. And then if that's the case, they need to either slow down or they need to kind of realign themselves and set the targets that are achievable for all of them.
I'm just thinking in terms of like, if they're speeding up, maybe like it's hard to adjust the startup business in terms of management. But that's the other topic for another podcast.
Maybe let me tell you from different perspectives. So basically, market as it is right now is a set of the existing forces within. So obviously there are some market leaders, there are people that are trying to emerge to the new market. So, and it's not easy to penetrate to new markets. So if you are growing fast, obviously there is some potential for you. So this market will close soon. If you find some place for your product or services, then you need to grow, you need to reach it. Otherwise, this window of opportunity will be closed. So that's about the opportunity and how fast you should grow. You need to actually always check, how do you stand with the market and what you can accomplish from it.
Maybe we can dive in now into innovations in digital transformation. So what kind of alignment is necessary to be between management to proceed in this direction?
Innovation happens on all different levels. And we shouldn't restrain with any additional administration. So with the mission command decision-making policy within the management gives the teams approvals to do what is the best to the end users, to the client's customers. So mission command is implementation of the mission on all levels and gives them more authority to the teams. Mm-hmm. So that's what it takes to me.
And when we look at the authority partners, the AP, how AP invests in knowledge?
Within AP, we have really curious people who are asking the question why. So they need to understand what's the value that we are bringing to the client's customers. Then we need to have a time frame and limited budget to deliver. Like we said before, lack of the time, lack of the budget brings the best results with the curious, smart people.
And how does mission commands decision making, in context of AP?
I'm really proud about our mission. Our mission, AP, we have a mission to create environment where our consultants will bring excellence, creating technology solutions to our clients. As a result, we and our clients will grow together. So if you look into this mission statement, if we grow and our client does not grow, we are not reaching sustainable growth. Mm-hmm. Again, that can happen for short term, but in this relationship, one is not going to be happy. So we need to do whatever makes us and the client at the same time happy. And in order to do that, we really need to understand what brings the value to the client. So we need to ask the question, why we need this feature, what feature, and to understand why question, we need to understand the sector of the client. We need to understand the business model of the client, what can he accomplish. So there are many questions that we need to answer, and as more curious we are, we will get a better picture. As more aligned with the client we're gonna succeed growing together with them.
Once you said that any other growth is not sustainable otherwise than the one that is defined within the authority partners mission, do you have any other example that you would like to share with us?
Okay, so let's say that we have a team working on a backlog through the sprints, solving the business requirements by applying digital transformation and using technology. What is important here? Important to be active participation is defining the backlog items. Not only the digital transformation, but also to bring the innovation into this digital transformation. In essence, this translates that we have a team that actively working on backlog by defining together with the client. So we are digitally transforming the client's business model and adapting with the latest opportunities and technologies that provide us. We need to be a good listeners to our clients' need. and provide couple options to the client, and then together with him decide which path we should go, test it, pivot, and see how it works. So as long as we are active listeners and active creator of the backlog, I think we bring the value to our clients.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point. And now out there in the world, today's world, we have good examples like, let's say, the other, like the platforms, media platforms, let's say like Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's a
What
good
do you
example.
think about that?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if you look the Netflix as a business model, again, I think it happened in 2007. Obviously, the penetration on the Wi-Fi have changed a lot in our environment. But basically, Netflix has changed the entertainment industry. In the time of the blockbusters, it created digital content on demand. So during even these COVID times, it's even more visible. So now they are actively involved in the financing of the content that they're gonna put on the streaming platform. So they're always kind of thinking ahead how to improve the experience to the end user, to the client. Mm-hmm. So this innovation is to change the way we are using entertainment content. Mm-hmm. But if you look the Netflix, maybe from the perspective, from IT perspective, they really created a great technology platform with the microservices in containers and architecture, the design that can actually use stability and resilience to this number of the users. The innovation that happened on the technical side is now widely used in some other IT spaces. So in that sense, whoever have created these technical solutions, they really have provided innovation to the Netflix as a company. So, and we've seen the setup we are actually using even in our cases, and we are really happy how it actually works with our clients.
Thank you for that insight, because I was always watching Netflix as a consumer. I never looked at the other side of innovation and IT industry. That's really interesting insight.
Okay, can you imagine these thousands of the services actually connected in sync and orchestrated? That's really powerful in IT world.
Yeah, and it always works.
Yes.
Yes, it's really great example. Now I'm coming to something that you once mentioned, and that's a curiosity. And I would love if you could share with our listeners why curiosity is one of the most important factors when it comes to innovation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, besides having the knowledge and skills, curiosity is a really motivational driver and gives us the playground and area of improvement. But curiosity should be articulated and accepted by all parties involved. So what we are doing, we should not leave the client aside and do some testing. So we need to he needs to be aware that we are testing and creating some new things. Because why? We need to provide some of the options to the client. The more we know about market of the client, the better we can help. So we are in constant quest to explore potential that our client could benefit from it. Mm-hmm. So in essence, we are in a relationship in which we bring to the client ideas and how we bring ideas by testing it, by allocating maybe 1 hour per day to explore what else we can do for the client. How does it work on this business model? So in that sense, if we communicate this to the client, they can say, okay, oh, that's a really good value to me. Or no, don't worry, I've been there, forget about it. If you want to look into this, please look into this model. So this is ongoing communication between us and the client, trying to find what is the best out there for the client.
So in a nutshell, client should create an enabling environment for the team to be curious.
Absolutely. Client should be and will be very supportive of us exploring his markets if we bring in value to him. Mm-hmm. Bringing value to him, we are becoming trusted partner who can spend limited time and a budget to bring new ideas. This is this balance, mm-hmm. Really interesting. You have license to explore as long as you bring value. But if you explore too much, if you spend too much time and you don't bring the value, then you are losing this car. So we need to balance with this. This is really, being the trusted partner, you need to bring the value to the client.
Why is innovation the result of many failures?
I'm glad that you asked that. I mean, we always see innovation as a successful thing of deliver the product that came or service that came on the market. But in essence, we are failing many times to succeed once. So this is why we need to pivot more often and test as much as the time and budget allows us. So with this limited time and a budget, we need to test things around. So we don't fail much. We fail little, we find some solution because we always asking question, is it yes or no, or should we explore further this? So the no question is a very good question. Basically, it's a failure, but it actually limits our further investment and we are not losing time and money into this. So if we are overdoing some investment, we might lose our trusted partner status. On the other hand, if we are not exploring enough, we are also losing the edge and again, losing the status of the trusted advisor. So the same thing, so this balance is important. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on the client solution in a limited time, in a limited budget, and bring new value. If you do more, then you obviously don't bring as much value as you spend time. Or if you do less, then you don't bring value at all. Then you are losing it. So the balance is very important.
Talking about client relations in this sense, when is it essential to perceive your client as a partner?
I can just repeat what I just said. The fine balance and the playground for us to innovate brings the value to the client. As long as we are doing it, we can continue be there for the client. If we are overdoing it, we are losing the edge. If we are not doing it, we are losing the edge. So this should be called communication and alignment between us and the client. With us, always be curious, always investing into the new knowledge, gaining new skills, and applying to the client solutions.
Definitely, like with the AP working with their client partners, this is one of the crucial things.
And maybe for the end, I can just say that we are not only work on the client's products and services. On AP level, we really invest into our management system, which makes us more efficient. We have parts of this system is our famous feedback system, our knowledge management system that we are just finishing now. We already done the capacity management system. So there are like many things that we invested as R&D into our company and still doing it, which help us be more efficient. So we can easily do the planning and follow up on execution, make a sound decision that supports our mission, vision, and core values. Besides that, it helps us to work where we also have IP generated that we can apply to our clients. Like I said, we have this microservices platform that we actually gladly offer to our clients and try to bring the value to them. We also have like a state-of-the-art customer support system that we done with one client we can offer to others. So we are constantly investing in new service offerings. Therefore, please stay tuned with the new services coming from the AP.
And I would like to add that innovation is definitely a part of AP company culture, right?
It is. I think it really does. We are an engineering company trying to wow our clients. This is what our Mirano was saying. Let's wow them. Let's amaze them. And how we do that? We need to learn things. We need to get acquainted with. We need to be curious, and we need to be aligned with the client. As long as we are doing it, in this matter, I think we will be very successful bringing new value to the clients.
Absolutely, and you are day by day.
Yes.
Dalibor, thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing your true passion for innovation.
Thank you, Asia, for having me. I hope that I kind of bring closer innovation and innovation ecosystem to you guys. I think it's a very complex subject, but I try to kind of structure in a way that maybe you can get benefits from listening this.
Absolutely. I'm sure that our listeners will be very happy to learn from you this all aspects, so this 360 you have provided today.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Authority Partners podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode.